Yes, thanks for staying with us. Time to turn our attention to bowls. We've gone straight to the top of the ladder. Our next guest, Faye Luke's been good enough to come in the studio. She's the National Bowls team manager. Faye, thanks for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
All right, let's start where your career started. So you're a hairdresser. How does a hairdresser get into bowls?
Well, we bought, my husband and I bought the general store so that we'd be sort of home with when the kids were going to school and whatever, we'd have a base. And of course, when you're in a general store, you do everything in the community, which is terrific. And they were in trouble because they were going to fold. They needed another lady, and I sort of just threw off the line, "Oh, I'll come and have a crack." And they took me up and dragged me up by the ear and decked me out with a few things. And next week I'm playing, and I've got this uniform with borrowed things from people all over the place, and then I'm into it. And then the next week I'm told, "Oh, you go up and skip because we don't like the heat." So I had probably 2 or 3 years of absolutely getting belted, but it was a very good character building thing.
And I might say too, your hair looks lovely too, being the hairdresser. I mean, that's fantastic.
I'm so glad you noticed that.
Look, you know, over the last few months, we've had the likes of Grenfell Dietrich and Wayne Stringer and all sorts, shapes, sizes that come in as part of Bowls SA. And I think that's what makes it so attractive, is that, you know, they come in all shapes and sizes, but when it gets to match day, you're all on the level playing field.
Definitely.
And it's a very social, community-based, community-spirit sport as well. Is that what you found over the journey?
Oh, definitely. I mean, I met so many people that you wouldn't normally meet, you know, sort of outside of bowls. Particularly when I first started, there were a lot of older bowlers, and I would never come into contact socially with them normally, perhaps, only if they had their hair done. And yes, it has. But, you know, sort of over the journey, I mean, I've worked a lot with the juniors, which is probably my favourite love. And yes, we've worked with people, vision impaired people, people with disabilities. I remember when we were training over in Glasgow the year before the Com Games, one of our bowlers with disability who had a prosthesis leg, it slipped off in the middle of the green, so we fined him for being legless on the green.
It does seem to have that flavour about it. There's a lot of humour involved with it. Now, you've been with 4 clubs, Faye. Are they all fairly similar issues? Are they similar problems, all 4 clubs you've been with?
Oh, definitely, yes. Yes, they are. I mean, at Lenswood, it's a little place. You know, it was a little place, and it's still alive. The men, you know, like they play on Saturdays and whatever. So it was a fabulous club, a great sort of grounding for me. And then when I went to Hahndorf, that was a lovely club, and I only left there because I was chosen into the development side and told to come down into the city and play at a higher level. So that's the only reason why I left Hahndorf. And then, yes, I left Modbury when I finished playing and got involved in lots of other things, and this year I've joined Payneham, and I'm going back to bowls and playing on Thursdays with the ladies, so we'll see what happens.
All right, you said you've had lots of roles. You're the National Centre Training Coach for SA and Northern Territory. What does that involve? That
involves sort of mentoring, looking after all the players who are in a national squad, and that comes sort of right from our Jackaroos with Wayne Rudiger and Max Kleinig, who are under the national coach Steve Glasson, and then so I look after them and try and prepare them for all the things that they're coming up against. So we've got 19 in our squad now.
So if you look at that framework, you're obviously given a framework where all the players are aiming in a specific way, I guess, for a national role. Is that right?
Definitely.
And what are the key elements of that?
Well, it's hard work, like in any sport. It's got to be hard work, it's got to be dedication, it's got to be commitment. And of course, we want a whole person, you know, like a person that not only can bowl, a person who's a good person underneath as well, because we need that in our team. I mean, we all want to play with good people, but we want to play with very special people as well. So we look for the people with that X factor and that one that will take them through. And my job is to get as many players into a green and gold jacket as I can.
Good. Well, let's talk about the green and gold jacket. You've had many varying roles with Bowls Australia. You're currently the team manager. How do you enjoy that role? Oh,
it's wonderful. Yeah, it is. It's wonderful. It's just like having another family. We do have a wonderful HP team, and looking after the players in that are just delightful. I love working with people that want to get better, and I find them quite inspiring, so that then from that role leads me back to looking and working with our players here in SA and in Northern Territory.
You've had an amazing career, 4 years as the manager. Is there one moment that's stood out for you in bowls?
In bowls for Australia,
Yep.
probably be into that tunnel before we went out in the Com Games
Well, yeah.
last year at Glasgow. That was just an amazing feeling. You know, sort of just waiting in that tunnel and waiting for that roar. And then when that roar came, it was just amazing.
I know some other bloke that's waited in that tunnel for 4 or 5 Olympics or something. It wasn't me.
Did you like that?
It is you know, you can describe it because you've experienced it. When you try and talk to other people about it, again, you're in a tunnel, it's open air, but you feel a warmth come over you. Then you step in and you really feel like you're just floating the first 200 or 300 metres as you're walking around. Same experience for you?
Yes, definitely, because everyone was telling you about it, but until you actually experience it, and then shoulder to shoulder with all the wonderful Australian athletes is just terrific.
It is. Before we went to talking about APL, I wanted to give a bit of an update on where we're placed at the minute.
Yeah, we're really looking forward. This is APL number 3, and so we're really looking forward to our players, to our SA Adelaide Endurance getting on board, and to everyone out there, if you'd like to come and watch or get onto a TV and watch it wherever you can, and it's just the most exciting thing, so really do get on board. It's a wonderful thing.
Just before we go, funniest moment in bowls so far for you? Because there's some characters.
Oh, there are. I think, or can I say this? I think the first day that I played bowls, and we were all in white, and I sort of turned around and everybody looked the same. And then I said to this lady, "Is this your bowl?" And she said, "No, balls are somewhere else."
All right, we'll leave it with that, Faye. Fantastic for coming in and joining us. Stay with us. Nick Mercer, the General Manager of the Masters Games here in Adelaide, will join us in just a moment.